Howdy Guardians. I wanted to make another video going over the flat ground strand skating method because I spent quite a bit of time over the last 2 months tinkering with it and trying to figure out what makes it different from well and shatter skating and if it would be possible to do it consistently without a macro. I can definitively say I know why the flat ground strand method works, what you need to do differently, what's different from well and shatter skating, and that you do not need a macro for this. I actually do believe that the flat ground strand skating method might be the easiest method for a flat ground skate. And of course, it's probably the most restrictive because there is one caveat that I will bring up later. But either way, overall, it feels a lot easier. All three of these skates, so Shatter, Well, and Strand, they all start off the same. They all start off with your character getting your sword out, doing a jump, and immediately swinging. You're trying to get your jump to be as short off the ground, as little off the ground as possible before you do your sword swiping. On Well and Shatter, the combo is jump, fly attack, jump, dive, and jump again. And the third jump being the one that actually lets you skate and get off the ground. The second jump being a prerequisite needed going into activating your ability or your super, and the first jump's of course jump and ground. The difference between Strand and Well and Shatter is that you do not need to actually do a jump before your dive. So the combo isn't jump, swipe, jump ability, it's just jump, swipe ability. And the reason that no one's found that out is because you're not supposed to be activating the dive immediately after the swing. On Strand, what we're trying to look for is the moment before Eager Edge deaccelerates. The moment before Eager would let us just drop to the ground and would cut all our momentum. Looking real quick at the swipes, it's right there with that little drop and a stop, and you lose momentum. Right before that is when you want to press your dive key. Looking at it, it's basically going to be right there. And you're going to do that. Once you got that down, you're good. Now you can incorporate a jump at the end. It's really, really simple and really, really easy in my opinion. It is a little frame rate dependent. Having more frames is going to make that gap for hitting the dive larger, but you will also need to be putting the input in a little bit earlier in comparison to if you have less frames where the window is tighter, but you have to wait just a little bit longer before activating your dive. It's very minute differences for the frames, but if you are used to playing on a higher frame rate and you do it, and then you drop down or you're in an area where your FPS is fluctuating, you might not be able to do it there. So it works without any frames. I've checked down to 50, and I was able to do it consistently up till then, but after that, it became really, really hard and really, really specific. So I just stopped messing around with that. If people want to group around at lower frames like that, go crazy. You can probably get the skates to still work just consistently. It would just be a very specific time. Looking at the whole combo, we're gonna do just the default again real quick, just so I can show the swipes and everything. We're looking for just that kind of swipe, getting just barely off the ground, and we're going for right before our Eager ends and loses the momentum is when we're going to be pushing down our dive key. So trying that again, and we'll get that. Looking at the whole thing now, which will be just a jump, a lie attack, that small delay before activating our dodge, and then another jump. And we should get this. And like I said, I honestly think that the strand skating method might be the easiest one now. Before, I thought it was even more specific than Well and Shatter, so I was thinking that it was actually the hardest one. But in reality, it's because I was trying to take too much information from the Wells and Shatter skating, where they were doing a jump before activating their dive. whereas Strand does not need that. You just need your dive key to be pressed right before your eager momentum is taken away. For some reason, activating your dive right before eager edge can actually take its momentum and deaccelerate cancels that and will not let eager take that momentum or cancel your movement then. Like I said, I think it's easier. Hopefully this means that more people can be doing this. I was saying before that I thought you needed a macro for it, and I was told that basically meant it would not be used in like speed runs and stuff like that, which I knew. But I realized that and I was like, well, crap. I kind of want to see if I can find a way for people to do this without a macro, because I would love to see Strand Hunters with their super and the grapples and the strand skating. I would love to see them being used in speed runs, because I do think there are some places that having some grapples, having your a skating method right off the bat, I think there are some places this could benefit from, because the Strand Hunter takes a little bit from both of the other two skates, whereas you don't need your super, so you don't need to wait a whole bunch or have a rally or anything like for warlocks. But for it, you don't. You do need your dodge ability, unlike stasis. However, what you get from Strand is a piece of both to a degree, because you get the skating, you get all that stuff. You don't need your super. You do need a dodge ability, but on top of all that, you also have the grapples. So you're basically taking a little bit from each one and kind of making a weirder skating subclass, because with Wells, the idea is like heat rises to get your height, and you need your super and your grenade and all that. And for stasis, it's that you don't need any abilities or anything, and you can use it just anywhere you go. But for that one, you can't get height. You can bounce off something, angle yourself to bounce upward, but you're not going to get more than that. With Strand, however, you're taking a piece of both those books, where you can do a skate right off the bat, starting an encounter, and you'll have two grapples that you can use to get to higher points. You could even have the trace rifle to make. You could have the trace rifle to make the tangle points for you. I can't even think of the name of it now. But I would be really interested in seeing this used in skate or in speed runs now, just because of the fact that this is more possible and it is a lot freer than I originally thought. I'm looking at it again real quick just to be sure. We're going for right before that sword swipe ends. Doing it again, we're going to go right then, and we're good. And like I said, once you mess around with this for a little bit, I do think you'll probably feel that this is easy, because the only issue is that initial jump and sword swing. Once you get that part down, it's just going to take pressing X as slightly different variations of that swing. I really hope that some people can use this, and I hope that more people will have better luck with this. I'm really hoping this means it can be used in more speed running environments, so we could hopefully maybe see some nutty things happen with it, but who knows. Hopefully someone found this video helpful, and I hope that anyone that wants to give strand skating a try can use this video as a guide on what they can do and what they need to change and how they can do it more consistently. Have a good day.